Hello everyone, this is Wafaa from ChinaReportASEAN. The world's two biggest trading nations announced dueling tariff plans earlier last week. But there were some signs that a full-scale trade war could still be averted. However, the situation seems to be getting worse, as Trump is pulling tariff trigger at midnight in trade war escalation, and China is expected to strike back with tariffs on an equal amount of US exports. In order to further explore this issue, I'm joined by Professor Chen Dawei from Renmin University of China. The US-China trade dispute has been on a lot of global headlines all over the world for the past few weeks. So where do things stand in the trade dispute between the two countries?
I think President Trump and his advisors believe China has a lot of problems, like a trade deficit, like IPR, intellectual property issues, like manufacturer policies, industrial policies. So they argue for it. They want to raise trade war against us. For China, I think we believe, okay, we did a lot of job to try to improve our business environmental and try to make to be a better WTO members, and we don't accept what the President Trump is saying.
Are such protectionist measures rare in global trade history?
It often happens, Actually, at the very beginning of American history, this nation, the nation adopted for 100 years, they adopt a protectionist policy. At that time, the US was a small country and they only have agriculture sector. So they say if they want to have an industrial sector, they should protect their domestic market to protect the infant industry. And after 100 years protection, especially after the Second World War, the US has power to rebuild the international trading system. So they built GATT, G-A-T-T, and laterly it's called WTO, World Trade Organization.
What could happen if the two biggest economies in the world went on an actual trade war? And how bad could it get?
I cannot imagine, because today, U.S. government announced 34 billion.
Billions, yes.
Trade tariff. So it will impact China's economy a lot. Yes. And at the same time, it will hurt the U.S. companies a lot, yes, because we both on the same global value chain.
How badly could this affect consumers and manufacturers? Case in point, aluminum. Americans buy aluminum from China to make beer cans. With the new tariffs, the beer cost goes up for both consumers and manufacturers. So this dispute will be hitting most of our pockets. Does it seem like a logical thing to do?
Today, maybe we cannot see because just announced the tariff. Yeah. So, but lately, maybe 1 month later, maybe half a year later, everybody can feel. For example, as a Chinese consumer, if I want to buy a car, maybe I have to pay more. Yes. In the US, the 25% tariff, which means your price has increased 25 at least. Yes. For the US business is facing the increased cost.
If the US continues to track China's high-tech flow in such a protectionist manner, to what extent would it really affect China's goals outlined the Made in China 2025 initiative?
I think it's time, after we become a manufacturer country, it's reasonable for China to think about to move to high-tech sector. But I think even though the US government, especially USTR, use 301 investigation against China towards intellectual property issue, it will hurt China, absolutely. But eventually, China will, at least, will grow up. Anyway, the children will grow up. We have a lot of sector like satellites. All this sector is developed by China's own intellectual property. And also we have several new sector like computer, digital. This sector is new. It's kind of US and China and some countries, all at the very beginning level. So we can compete.
Is it possible for both sides to settle the dispute and reach a win-win agreement.
It's possible.
It is possible, yes.
From Chinese perspective, we always emphasize negotiation is the best way to settle the dispute. It shows, China government and the Chinese people really do not want to involve into such the biggest trade war in history. So, but the China side, the door is open to negotiate.